Hey guys, so as you can see it's a little bit different, hopefully not too much so, but in doing so I kind of messed with my audio and my camera and it all messed up in a large portion of a very grindy episode that I've done. I have realized how grindy it can be, and especially afterwards editing it down into something. So I'm going to try something today to salvage, and maybe the next one that I'm going to put out. But then I will be back with my cam, my audio, and what I'm probably going to do is something that I'll show you then. But I'm thinking about essentially taking a large chest on my way when I go out. We'll have it empty. And then I'll just bring it back and I'll literally just show the empty chest, come back, have the full chest, and that'll be essentially showing the grind because, yeah, as you'll see in today's, there's about 5.5 hours worth of footage that I cut down to about 18-20 minutes just because it was so very grindy, and I was sitting also for the most part just watching some, listening to some podcasts, watching some videos, and it just doesn't really make for very compelling content. So let me know what you think about what I've done for this one, and then as I said, I'll probably just adapt how I go about grinding, and I'll probably not do it off cam entirely, simply because sometimes there is some things that happen that I do wish to have, but I'm just really going to cut out large portions of the grind. So let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed today's one. Yeah, here we go. Alrighty, so this is essentially where I start off most of my episodes and my times in Scrap Mechanic Valleys, blissfully unaware of how many components and how many resources I truly need, finding some bots, beating them senseless, and collecting their innards. You know, just normal Scrap Mechanic things. Then I noticed the forest biome, the burnt forest biome, and I was like, cool, I'm just gonna chop down a few trees. Well, roughly 40 odd trees later and a good 20 or 30 minutes spent doing that, I eventually gathered up a bunch of burnt embers, and also eventually I'm gonna go through this building over here just to again collect up what I needed to and hopefully find some more stuff. As you can see, it's already turned nighttime. Here I am just entering the building, generic, normal, average, daily, putting my life on the line to collect some metal, and oh look, we're overwhelmed by bots again. This seems to be happening all the more these days. I don't know if they've changed something, but the bots, they clump. And I thought here I'm gonna die. Luckily no bots around, so just collect up all the resources. Just more schmacking, more collecting. All of this over about the course of, I don't know, maybe almost an hour, at least 45 minutes or so. And when I found felt I had more or less enough, heading back home, just, punching some bots on the way, collecting up all of their resources, and finally finding my way back home. Now, as usual, just popping all the resources in my little crafting chain I've been able to manufacture over here, seeing, okay, well, not enough space, so eventually I'm going to need some more chests for this system, but right now we're not quite there yet, so we'll be working on some other stuff, crafting up a nice little seat, because I'm looking to build a little exploratory vehicle for me, something light on fuel, something I can go and just roam the map with and really find where I am in this whole seed of Scrap Mechanic, which honestly is a pretty good seed. Like, as you guys will see a little bit later, there's a whole bunch of real nice things going on. Again, cutting out all of the crafting, all of the little grindy grinds, and got my seed, planting up some plants because, we need beets and tomatoes and beets, as I like to say, because that's all that I eat. And also tomatoes and beets, that's what the trader needs. to exchange for on behalf of a what you call it, a spud gun. That, and of course a little roly farmer, caged farmer, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, there, miss those. Let's just keep planting. Fine. Get water. Boom. And head on back to get the last of the plots. I was out looking for some more just glue, and for some reason I decided to just yeet my vehicle into the water, which turned out to be a not so great idea, but here we are. You know, just smacking up the glue, collecting them all up, getting around. Again, it's already getting nighttime, so you can just see how grindy this whole process is. And then afterwards heading back home. Collected a bunch of wood on the way as well, and here we are. Now, just contemplating essentially that I left my vehicle over on the other edge. That's why it was probably not a good idea. So my vehicle's over where I just collected the clams. Luckily not that far. I'll go get it a little bit later. So let's just continue on with the plan of crafting up the glue, and also here comes the raid. So might as well just chill here, defend my farm against the raid. Again, the toad pots, they kind of seem to get stuck up there on the edge, and as I've mentioned before, I'm really quite considering making some sort of a tower defense. If we can figure out how to do it, maybe you guys can have some ideas, because I'm going to have to place the farm in a certain way. Here where it is seems good, because they do seem to get stuck up there, but maybe I need to be a little bit closer to the edge, and maybe I need to make a wall kind of to just make sure that they don't tumble down the edge. But yeah, contemplating the tower defense, and now I will head on up and just take care of those bots real quick. You know, circuit boards, toad pot heads, real good. Yeah, so there we go. That's the tower defense area I was thinking about. Outlining it with my mouse. Just checking up on my base. I want to just put that block back in there that I accidentally deleted. And let's just go and collect up these little resources here and those bots up there. So come here, little toad bot, let me smack you, and we are done. That is the raid done. So our plants haven't grown yet because I planted them at a weird time, so we are most likely going to have another raid, and in fact we do eventually have another raid. And I'm like, alright, I'm done here, so let me just go and collect my vehicle. Found some toad pots on the way, you know, collected them, and here we are back at our lovely little resource miner. So just grab that up and headed back on home. Of course, the obligatory flip of the vehicle. Yeah, and again. Always a good one. That's why you really want to build quite wide vehicles in Scrap Mechanic, I've found. And heed that warning, because I don't follow that advice myself, again, a little bit later when I make my new little exploratory vehicle. Now, just crafting up some more things, looking at what I need, and here we go. I'm going to start out, and I decided I'm just going to build it from brick, because I've got a lot of brick for now. Might as well do it. For some reason I wanted to make it odd width, so I'm contemplating what length or what width, and I go with a nice 5 wide and full 16 extension just for the sake of it. Got my saddle, odd width saddle, boom, smack down right there. And now I'm seeing this engine, and of course these engines are even width, so I'm a little peeved at myself. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, now I need to, you know, do a bearing or something, because I really don't want to put an electric engine, which is odd width on this vehicle. So I'm like, okay, that'll do, just pop it down. Now it's already night. I've just gone and gathered a little bit of, component kits from the nearby compound, and also came back to collect up my fruits, veggies, well, tomatoes and beets. Realized my inventory is full. Inventory's really full, so popped down my tires over here just because, well, they are taking up some space. So yeah, there we go. Tire down, another one down. And now I should hopefully have enough inventory space, and also here comes the bots. So let me just quickly do this raid. And of course still inventory full, because seeds and beets and tomatoes and seeds, they will take up quite a bit of space. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna put you down here, collect up the rest of you, and fine, finish off this raid, which by now has grown a little bit since we oh, there we go, get punched, and I punch back. Don't beat my farm, I said to myself, no one else. And there we go, finished off mostly. And you'll see again the little tote bots get stuck up there on the edges and find their way down. So really a future plan to see what we can do with that mechanic. Anyway, so got the farm. Now here comes the kicker. I went roaming a little bit just to see what's what, and oh boy was I happy I saw this. And you can see I just stood there and stunned, and I was quite excited, exclaiming to myself that I found oil. And this is really significant because there's cotton, burnt forest biome, and oil right nearby my base. One day we can do a little tour around, but essentially what you see there, that's the Trader's Mountain, and I'm just running back from the oil. So it's super close and real nice. So that was a good little discovery that I made, and this also solidified the fact that, okay, now I'm going to use my exploratory vehicle to actually collect the oil. So I'm going to need to build another chest. Gotta build a chest. And also I want to plant some more crops. Pick up that little thing there. Piston, not piston, shock absorber. What do they call them? Suspension. Fix up my farm that they broke through, and they really do break through the bricks fairly easily, so I'm definitely going to have to grind a bit for metal. Again, that'll be on a future episode where I will probably not show most of it, but yeah, back to building up my little exploratory vehicle. And so I was reminiscing here because I did see there's this little glitch that you can build a single high suspension that I really want to try, and I'll have to go search for the video again where I found it, but essentially the creator used a screw or a bolt, I think it is called, but the bolts, it seems, are only available in the creative mode and not in survival. So I was a little bit peeved off at that, stood there, reminisced a little bit. I was just waiting. Also, I think I got a cup of coffee or something, and now I'm like back. All right, again, just thinking about how I can still manage this single high suspension glitch system, because I'm quite excited to keep this frame down low and, you know, nice and compact as a little exploratory vehicle. And I do eventually figure out that in survival you can use either buttons or switches. I think I opted for buttons to do this glitch with, and I'm actually not sure if I show it, but we'll see. As the button you can essentially stick on the underside of the suspension. So for now I think I didn't yet do it because I haven't had the brain wave to actually use the buttons yet, but the buttons are also very low hitbox, so they've only got like a half a block hitbox, whereas anything else is really mostly full-sized hitboxes. But yeah, essentially this was the beginning of my exploratory car, and I just moved the engine up against because, you know, I'm just a little OCD like that, although it's still off center, so that still bothered me to no extent, or to the full extent. Connect up all the wheels. Nope, max connections reached, so now I'm like, okay, well, I don't have enough component kits, but I've got some in my chest, so go collect up some component kits from here and just upgrade my engine so that I can have a nice four-wheel powered vehicle, you know, just enjoy it. And also fuel efficiency. Now, I know I don't really need to be that fuel efficient, seeing as we've got an oil pond literally right outside our base almost, but that was about it. Now I have my exploratory vehicle. Get it some fuel, ramp up the engine, and all that's left is to take it for a drive. Went around, took it for a quick spin, realized, you know, bearings wrong way around. There we go, fixed that up, and vroom, it works. So, nicely done. Now I did drive it around a little bit again, didn't show that because I was looking to craft up the chest for going to collect oil. So got that crafted, brought the chest around, just speeding this up here, a little bit of the build, just strapping the chest to the back, nicely like so. Decided, okay, let me just widen it out a little bit, you know, give it some contours, make it look a little sexy. And I know that it's a very relative definition, I suppose, but yeah, pulling out the back because I'm still going to be popping the vacuum on there as well. I did consider building a vacuum, but I haven't quite had all the resources here yet, so I was like, I'll just steal the one off of my watering suction system. Got myself another switch because, you know, I don't need to take the switch off as well. I can craft the switch quite easily, so I did that. Brought the vacuum, swept it around so that it sucks, got the switch, plopped that down, wired it in, and there we go. Now I have a little vehicle that I can go and suck up the oil with. Again, just obligatory roll outside. Whoop, that's the first roll of this vehicle, but there will be many more to come, I am sure. Alright, and just on and on I go. As I said, oil pond right close by. See that haybot. Decided to ignore him initially, and then I decided, well, no, you know, that's some metal right there. Ideally a component kit, or maybe even a circuit board. Getting right around into the oil, contemplating how I'm going to do this, deciding, okay, well, you know, just yeet it in. That's going to suck the oil, ain't it? Checked inside, yeah, indeed, it's sucking the oil, so I stood around, waited a little bit for it to fill up more, decided I'm not going to let it fill up all the way, so that I have, that was more than enough for now, because also I don't really have inventory space, so I might just want to use this chest for a little bit of space. So all is good, I've got some oil, engine is all filled up, and we're heading home. Smashed my way through these fences because they are just so satisfying to smash through, and came back right up to our little home sweet home. Now again, this is the part where I almost rolled it, but didn't at that point. I was quite excited by myself. And I took the chest and I contemplated, oh, you can't get in a seat with a chest, but that's not a big problem, just give it enough of an edge so that I can edge it over the edge, bring it in, and make it part of my system, and boom, there we go, crafting up some oil. Now here I was like, okay, you know, I'm crafting up some oil, might as well wait, but I absolutely forgot that I had to eat, and also that I had a raid coming. So as I turned around, coming back from having a little bit of a break, I had a phone call. I realized that, oh, look at that, the raid was here, and I had completely missed it. So, yeah, this is what I got left with. Now at this point, I've been grinding for roughly 2 or 3 hours already, so I was not happy at all, and I really just decided, okay, well, this is maybe just where we stop. This is it. And then, okay, I'm done for today. And I kind of was. I didn't come back for the next day, so a day after this event transpired, I actually came back, saw this, and had some renewed vigor. Decided, alright, well, nothing to do other than just fixing it back up, picking myself up, because the real problem was I didn't have any seeds now anymore. My seeds were all on those things, and they destroyed most of my beet seeds and tomato seeds. So luckily the trader does have some seeds that he spawns and does every now and again. But yeah, we're just walking on through, fixing up the farm. Checking on the seeds that I do have left. And essentially, for the most part, calling it a day there. Because, yeah, this has been effort. And I'm so glad that I've been able to get it down to about 20 minutes or so, because this took so much time to not only record, but the editing took almost twice as long. So this is why I'm saying that I'm probably going to do the format a little different. Thank you all for watching. Cheers.